Let's have a little chat about something I found on Twitter today. So if you hear me, it's because I'm looking at Twitter. So this person posted, a billionaire cannot be a tortured poet. Sorry, those are the rules. And yes, she did not put any punctuation on it. I think it's a she. I don't know what it is. Anyway, this person continued with, sorry, I need my tortured poets to be penniless bohemians drinking absinthe in an attic room next door to the Moulin Rouge. Your ability to be a tortured poet is a direct inverse to the emotion. I'm sorry, to the emissions created by your private jet. The reason I decided to bring this up is because I'm a little tired of people assuming that if you have mental health issues and you're a tortured soul, you cannot have money. So you're basically being kind of ableist if you think about it, because you're saying that a person who is tortured cannot make the kinds of money that one Taylor Swift does. And I am getting tired of having to defend Taylor Swift, for the love of God. But you people make it so easy. And, I started answering something to a friend of mine who is the one who posted this originally. I mean, quote tweeted it. And then I realized that I wanted to talk about it. So I went ahead and instead of continuing my thought process, I went ahead and I decided to come here and say what I said. Now, what I said to her was basically, if you're not suffering from mental illness and penniless, because those things exist at the same time, you cannot be a tortured poet. Some of the saddest people I know are the super rich. And then I gave some examples, and that's where I want to talk about this specifically. Here's the thing. Being a millionaire or a billionaire and having mental health issues can coexist. Not everybody that's depressed is poor. I know a lot of people who are like extremely poor, like barefoot and walking and having a house that has like, mud for a floor, and are extremely happy. I also know people who have every possible thing you can imagine in the world, and they are not suffering. Like, it's not like they don't have any needs at all, because they either inherited enough money or they made enough money that they can enjoy all the best things in life, and are some of the most horrifically tortured souls you'll ever meet. This all comes because the next album by Taylor Swift is called Tortured Poet, or something to that effect. And here's my thing, and this is why I decided to bring this up today. I don't understand why people hate the rich so much that they make assumptions that are not valid. I don't know if this person just hates Taylor Swift because I didn't look at their account. You know what? Let me look at her account. I don't know if this person hates Taylor Swift or they just hate rich people because. Let me see. Oh, he. Okay, sorry, Cass. My bad. Let me look. I'm looking real quick at their account just to see if there is some correlation, because it seems to me that they're left leaning, but that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it's one of those eat the rich people. It's not necessarily, I don't see anything necessarily against Taylor Swift, and I only looked at the first 5 or 6. It clearly has to do with the fact that Taylor Swift is is a rich person. Here's my issue. And I have an entire other video about this particular topic, but I really hate to see how people will come at others for the dumbest stuff. And the reason for this particular thing being the dumbest stuff to me is because there's mental health issues, torture souls, depression, and whatever you want to call it, okay? It's not just for some people to have. And because you think that somebody can afford the best medical treatments in the world, mental or otherwise, that means that they don't have moments when they're like really sad. This person lives in a freaking bird box. Most billionaires do not have the ability to just walk out into the stores like we do. Most billionaires, especially celebrities, especially somebody like Taylor Swift or like Beyonce or Adele, I'm gonna leave it on those kind of tops. Those people cannot just walk into a mall because they feel like hanging out with their friends. Those people can rarely go anywhere without an escort. And I understand that you can think, well, she asked for it because she decided to become a celebrity. No, she decided she wanted to sing. The fact that she became a celebrity later on is a completely different matter. And just because she's a celebrity and she's a billionaire doesn't mean that she's not a human that has emotions and has moments of weakness and sadness and frustration and anxiety. And my problem with this is that it all goes back to this whole idea of people assuming based on what they see. I made a comment about this on another video, and I don't think you're going to get to see that video, or maybe you do, I don't know, because I don't know which one I'm going to post. But I can tell you one thing. It's what you see on the screen. I don't care if it's an influencer or if it's somebody that makes videos on YouTube for entertainment purposes only, or if it's a celebrity, or it's somebody that's gotten so big on social media that they are considered a celebrity themselves, or if it's Joe Schmo who cleans the streets in the corner, singing his songs and being happy all the time. You really don't know what's going on behind closed doors. End of. And for you to have, let me go back for a second and say something, and I'm probably going to offend somebody, and I really don't care. Nothing cracks me up more than a person of a certain skin color when they start talking about how, oppression works. They're trying to teach marginalized people how oppression works. They try to be so good at being an ally that when they end up being is a nuisance. This person, their account is full of things about, people who don't get the shots are dumb, and, all kinds of hate for one side, love for the other, but in the end of the day, they are the problem. Because they understand the limitations of marginalized communities as much as the problematic people do. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. I don't care how much money you have. You can have mental health issues. You can live with depression. You can live with anxiety. You can be what's considered a tortured soul. I am going to tell you a little story. It's very little because we don't know that much about this person or this couple of people. When I was a little girl in school, I went to the same school from 4th grade to my senior year in high school. The school that I went to was a Catholic school, so people automatically assumed that everybody that went there had money. No, most of my friends were middle class, just like me. We had a very good school at the time. It eventually devolved into something else, but at the time that I was in the school, it was one of the top schools in the country, on the island. Right next to, when you went, we were in one of the main avenues in San Juan, and when you drove by to get to where we were, there was a shoe store that was right here, and then it was the gate to go into the school and the church, because we had a church. It was a Catholic school. In that corner, in that shoe store, the way the front was laid out, there was a stoop. And 9 times out of 10, you would see these 2 ladies begging for money in that corner. They were dressed in rags. They did not look like they had taken a shower in days. And eventually, one of those 2 people died, or both of them died. I really can't remember. And people found little bags full of money all over their house. They were essentially millionaires, and I can't tell you if they didn't know it or if they were so far gone that they didn't even realize that what they had in their hands was money. We don't know. In another town the town where I was born, Bayamon, Puerto Rico. In Bayamon, there was I, all I know is that nowadays it's a Marshalls. Well, if it's still there, it's a Marshalls. But the way the layout came, there was a long staircase. You could either go in through the first floor or go up the stairs and go in through the second floor. Bargain Town was the name of the store, I believe, before Marshalls. And I remember every time we went to take the stairs, there was this old lady. Same situation. She was always begging for money. She was dressed in like really destroyed clothes. And we never saw her get there or leave, so we didn't know anything about her. When she died, people found out that she was a multimillionaire and she was begging because she had lost her mind. She didn't know that she had money. You don't know what other people are dealing with on a daily basis. The person that you see smiling at you right now is probably has millions of problems, and it doesn't take much for people to snap. You know, you all have to talk a good game about trauma and how to deal with trauma and all this other stuff, but when it comes to having empathy for other people, you all have none. And I'm not talking about you specifically, I'm talking about the person that left this post. It's very easy to sit around and spend all day on Twitter talking about how unfair the world is and how the government needs to do this or that or the other, or how a particular government did something and the other one didn't do anything. Your entire account is full of that stuff. But you have no empathy. Because at the end of the day, we're all people. Doesn't matter if we're gazillionaires or if we're broke. And if a person decided to call themselves tortured poet for a album cover, maybe they're giving you a glimpse into their life that you really don't want to deal with, and that's why you're mad. Ironically, somebody mentioned Robin Williams to this person, and the conversation went something like, well, he was not a billionaire. And the person who asked originally said, no, well, he wasn't a poet either. And the reality is that, and I left the beginning of that particular thread of the conversation because it devolved into something ridiculous. Because that's the other thing that happens on social media. If somebody comments something you don't like, people automatically go and attack the person. Oh, you thought he was a poet because of Dead Poets Society? Did you think he was this or that because of Jumanji? I'm sitting there like, why did you have to go there? What does that have to do with the conversation? The point that this person is making is that a billionaire cannot be tortured, and you're going into this tangent about Robin Williams, who doesn't deserve to be in this conversation at all. Although he is the perfect example of somebody that had money, and at the end of the day, money could not help him. Because let's be clear, for everything I've seen about his death, he was diagnosed with Lewy body dementia. And as far as I know, and I know from personal experience, dementia, no matter which one you pick, has no cure. They can try to make it a little longer for you, but I cannot imagine having a life where you don't remember anything and you're still here because, they try to make your life a little longer. I don't know what to tell you. I would love to hear your comments. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.